Hey everybody, my name is Russ, and thank you for watching another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. You know, if you're a fan of action figures or toy collecting, or pop culture in general, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel. I've recently acquired some toys. I've been buying them over the past few years. Now, you can see that I like to open and display my action figures, but for one reason or another, I've just been kind of adding to this pile, not opening them until now. I've decided to record my opening these toys and action figures so that you, fellow collectors or internet trolls, could watch and enjoy the process with me. Now, this episode of Just Open It is a very special one because I'm doing something I didn't think I'd do, but I bought a toy just to open here. Now, I've so many toys that I could literally post this series weekly for at least a year without buying anything new. But I've been seeing this toy line lately that I thought I'd like to open it on this show as kind of an exploration of what kids have available to them nowadays at the Dollar Tree. So I picked up this Final Faction action figure, if you could see that there. This is, I believe, a Dollar Tree exclusive line of toys. So it's meant to be very affordable for kids that perhaps can't afford or have no interest in, or maybe want something different than what you could find at a Walmart or Target. You know, your general action figure nowadays is at least $10 to $15. So to buy an action figure for $1 to me is pretty revolutionary, actually. It's very interesting to see what the quality of this toy might be like. And like any action figure line, it comes with a pretty extensive backstory and series of characters, all of which I am completely unfamiliar with. So I thought, why not purchase this at the Dollar Tree, as I did, and open it here on Just Open It, and just see what it's all about, I guess. Just something different than the He-Man or Ghostbusters or superhero action figures that I'm generally used to. And if I don't care for this, it was $1. So, or if I like it and I want all the other characters, well, that will run me $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 total. So, for less than the cost of a single action figure today, I could have a whole series of 8 good guys and bad guys to play with, if I were a kid, of course. So, Final Faction, is this based on a video game? I really have no idea. There is a website that I guess I could have looked up before I started this video, but I really just wanted to go and do it completely naive. www.final-faction.com, so I assume finalfaction.com was taken. So final-faction.com, there's a QR barcode. It says scan to watch the Final Faction cartoon. So there is a cartoon that kids can watch. And I'll hold that up there. I don't know if that might be scannable on your device. But if you want to check that out. You know, the art on the package is pretty cool. You know, pretty standard action figure stuff, if not even above average in some regard. And here's the backstory in a nutshell. In the year 2050, a large asteroid collided with our moon. Among the debris, we discovered a hibernating alien mothership. Now the Karn, K-H-A-R-N, the Karn, are awake, and they want to plunder our precious natural resources. So we recruited teams of special operatives to defend Earth from the alien threat. They are the Final Faction. Cool backstory. And so I picked up Sergeant Ruck, because his name, quite frankly, was close to Russ, which is my name. It's the only reason I picked him up out of the 8 characters available. Looks like maybe 4 good guys, 4 bad guys. Now, Sergeant Ruck's origin, it says here, is the cold valleys of Austria. Ruck specializes in ground artillery. He uses heavy weapons that attach to his body to stave off the enemy. Born in the cold valleys of Austria, Ruck has a warm, compassionate heart, but is very competitive with his friend Steel. Okay. And then the power rankings are there, and so he exceeds in strength and durability, and he's suffering a little bit in speed and agility. Stamina is at a 5 out of 8, so I could relate to that, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's what the back of this card has to offer. You know, I'm just so intrigued and amused by this. It's completely new to me, and again, the affordability of this at just $1 is attractive. I think if you're at the Dollar Tree with your kids and they're bugging you for something, you could buy them a single toy like this, and if they're good next time, you can get the next character and so on. You know what I mean? It's just a different, new mythology, I assume. I just assume that it's brand new and meant to be affordable. Again, having done no research on this whatsoever, this could be like a big video game that the kids are playing nowadays, and this could be a cheaper version of an action figure line that's available elsewhere. I don't know, but I'm going to open this figure and see what it's all about after I take a sip of coffee from my McDonald's mug here from the last video. Okay. Final faction, Sergeant Ruck. Will this character stand alongside other action figures produced today as a durable, playable toy? Well, I'll tell you what, that bubble came right off. So it kind of leaves the card clean. I'm just thinking about this from like an 8-year-old's perspective, and how this is like a new world, new characters. And so if you wanted to keep this card, which I won't, it's got all the information there so that you know what the world is about. And then with the bubble coming off clean, you can see that additional art there. Very cool. Excuse me. So I'm holding the toy in hand, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like one of those hollow ninja action figures from the Dollar Tree, you know, the ones I'm talking about, those kind of bootleggy, they all kind of Power Ranger like ninja action figures they were carrying for a long time. This is a hefty little toy that I would imagine is on par with any of like the little DC or Marvel characters of this height that's available at Walmart or Target nowadays. And I'm moving its points of articulation. So Ruck has 5, I presume 5 here. Yep, points of articulation. Pretty standard. Head, arms, legs. His weapons include, did it say specifically? I don't think it identified them, but he's got a lot of little, little ways I presume weapons could be attached to him here on the holes and stuff. In fact, it says additional weapons packs sold separately. So I wonder if this is a function of all the figures that you could take these weapons and attach them. So like this cannon that he came with, this laser gun, it has a peg here. So I think can I put that, yep, just like the picture. I could put that there. Or I could probably also put it here on his arm. Right? So if you were doing this move, I kind of like it up here, honestly. And putting this in and out, very easy. But not so easy that it feels cheap. You know, it's like it's normal. It feels like a normal toy. And then like if he's not shooting the gun, it could be up like that. Yeah. And then he's got this little backpack here that would just go on his back, I assume. But it's got detail. You know, this thing has detail where it need not be. Like, in other words, when this is attached to his back, you don't see all that. In fact, there's even less detail there, but look at that guy. This is $1. This cost $1. And he stands perfectly. For display. He's got all the same points of articulation the figures I had, as a kid did. I'm kind of blown away by this, to be honest with you. I'm kind of shocked at how cool this is. I mean, it's an army guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a glorified army guy, right? He's a futuristic soldier type that we've seen in countless movies and toy lines and video games and stories. But again, this cost $1, and the aliens that come in this series, maybe you can see their pictures there. They're named Drone, Brute, Synthoid. I almost wish I picked up one of them as well, so we would have had a little bit more of an elaborate sculpt to contend with. But this was $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I understand the Dollar Tree might be going up to $1.25 this year sometime, so okay, these figures will run $1.25, and I would stand this guy side by side with any 3.75 inch, 3 3/4 inch, however you want to say it, whatever your metric system is, whatever measure of fraction you use. I would stand this guy right alongside any of those other lines, mainstream lines from Marvel or DC. I mean, there's detail here in the armor and stuff that I've just never seen from a Dollar Tree toy before. So I'm going to jump on the website and watch the cartoon and do a little research on this line, because I'm super impressed, and I hope that this fills a void in the action figure market, where maybe kids that couldn't afford the stuff that's out there now, that's, you know, for better or worse, targeting adult collectors like me, they could find something affordable and new that they could enjoy. So Dollar Tree and the creators of Final Faction, whoever you are, hats off to you. I'm looking now. It's very faint here, but it says clip and save right here. So you would clip off the tab and you would have this. You know, this is evoking for me how I first felt when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. Now, He-Man was my line as a kid, and I didn't think anything would come close to my love for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe that I had. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sure did, and in fact, with those cards on the back, I wasn't a G.I. Joe kid, I wasn't a Transformers kid. It was pretty much Masters of the Universe or Superpowers, and maybe some Marvel Secret Wars. Those were my lines until I was about 8 or 9 years old. Then come the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and before you know it, I'm clipping those bio cards off the card backs, and I'm saving the origin sequence, you know. And this is just evocative of all of that for me. Now, when toys are just pictures of the product and maybe a piece of art, and that's it, this is hearkening back to that era we remember fondly. And I'm wondering if the creators of Final Faction are of my generation that kind of remember that stuff. So hats off to them for creating an affordable, cool toy line that I think kids should be getting into, quite frankly. And so this comes recommended from me, a lifelong toy fan and collector. I might spend a couple extra bucks for the rest of the Final Faction crew. So thank you very much for watching this episode. Again, please consider liking and subscribing and all that stuff. And tune in next time when I look at one of the toys in my living room. I pick it up and I say, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.